Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Omo. Welcome back to Omo Speaks. In this channel we'll create video about faith, lifestyle, education, talking about my experience as Nigerian American. And so I hope you guys enjoy my video, and if you do, make sure you like, comment down below, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that really helps my channel and that helps out the YouTube algorithm. So I really hope you do that. And yeah, let's get right into in today's video we're going to be talking about something that has been in my mind for a long time to talk about, and that's going to be the difference between the education system in Nigeria and that of America. So if you guys don't know, I started schooling in the America when I was in 10th grade, which I believe is equivalent to SS1 in Nigeria. Currently right now I'm in the university, about to start my third year of uni. So I do have an experience of both the Nigerian education system and the American education system. So I hope you guys learn from this video and find something helpful that you would love to know about the differences in education system. So first, I have my script here, so I have points of exactly what I want to talk about. So we're going to first start up with a video breakdown. So I'm going to be talking about the education setup. So the education setup in Nigeria and the education setup in America. So in Nigeria you have preschool, kindergarten, then you have primary school, secondary school, then you have university. Then you could go ahead to do your NYC, all your grad school and all this kind of stuff. But I'm just going to be focusing from primary school to university. And in America they also have it almost the same, but they don't usually call it primary school or secondary school. They call it elementary school, middle school, high school, the secondary school. So high school is it's 4 years, and after high school you go to college or university. In Nigeria, high school is equivalent to secondary school, and after secondary school you go to university. And in Nigeria you have primary school, which is from primary 1 to primary 6. In America you have elementary school, which is from 1st grade to 3rd grade, I believe, and that's primary 1 to primary 3. Then you have middle school, which I believe is from, I'm not really sure, but they have elementary, then they have middle school, then after middle school high school, then after high school you graduate to college. So that's how their educational setup is. If you like to research more, you could check online to get more information about that. And also something I noticed that is different between the Nigerian system and the American system is that in Nigeria you can start school at a very early age, but in America I believe you can only start school probably when you're 4 years old, 5 years old. So for that reason, if you want to graduate high school in America, before you go to college, you must at least be 18 years old. But in Nigeria people can graduate secondary school at the age of 16 or even 15, just because in Nigeria we start our education at a very early age, probably 2.5, 3 years old. Your parents have basically enrolled you in a school. But America, they have this set age because they believe that at that age the child should be able to cope without their parents being there. So they start school probably 4 years old. Another difference between the Nigerian and the American school system is that the American school system is really technologically advanced, and the Nigerian school system is more physically driven. American school, they do most of their stuff through computers. They encourage students to use computers to foster their education. But in Nigeria, students don't even have access to computers that much, except in their school where they where they're taking computer science classes and all the stuff. But in Nigeria, if you want to do your assignment, you have to use your textbook, you have to reason, use your brain. But in America here, they are more technologically driven. So you could basically do your assignment online, submit your assignment online, check your grades online. Most of their stuff is online, so that makes it really fast and efficient for them in America compared to Nigeria, where everything is mostly manual and physically driven. So another thing is that because the America is more technologically advanced, they are more organized than in Nigeria education system does not use that much technology, right? But since American system is more technologically advanced, they are more organized. They have like a web login where students could like log in to check their grades. It's not like in Nigeria where like they give you your grades physically on paper, or they give your grades to your class prefect to distribute your grade. They ensure privacy of all students. So they are more organized. They keep track of the parent email, so they could reach out to the parent in case the student is struggling in school. So they are pretty much organized in the American school system compared to that of the Nigerian school system. Another thing is that in Nigeria they have public and private schools. A public school in Nigeria refers to like government schools, and they also have private schools. In America also, they also have public and private schools. So they both have public and private schools in both countries. Another thing is that I noticed is that in America, the teachers here really do care about the educational well-being of the students than in Nigeria, if you understand what I'm saying. Like here, their mode of teaching is like they teach you with the intention of you learning and understanding what you learned. But in Nigeria, it's like they teach you to produce exactly what you learn, like cramming. So for the most part, you don't understand what you learn. You don't even apply it in your daily life. You're just cramming for the sake of getting 90 A+ on your exams. So I don't like that mode of teaching. And also the American system, since I do believe that most of the teachers I have, they really care about you learning very, very well. For example, let me give you an example. When I was in Nigeria, when I was in JSS 3 in Nigeria, we had to take like all these mock exams and all this kind of stuff. And I was not really good in mathematics in Nigeria, like math. And that was, I did all my best. I worked really hard. Like I was pretty good at other subjects, but mathematics, English, those were like my weak point. And I just couldn't understand math. I even got a tutor or somebody that would be teaching me, but I wasn't still doing well in the math class because Nigeria was just like fast paced. Like, you know, they are just teaching you. Some of the teachers there, they just write on the board, they don't understand. But when I came over here to the US, right, the way they broke down stuff, like the teacher was so caring. Like if you don't understand, like they broke down stuff very well. Like I was able to learn math. Like right now, math is one of my favorite subjects just because of the way my mathematics teacher here in the US, the way he teaches. It taught me when I was in high school, which is secondary school in Nigeria. The way he taught me was like, it made me so interested in math. He explained it like, if I don't understand something, like this man literally cleans the entire board and starts teaching it again. In Nigeria, like if a math you don't understand something, which I had one teacher in Nigeria who was like that, like really cared about this thing, but they were just so fast, like, you know, I just couldn't understand. Because pretty much people in Nigeria, they train students that so you learn, like you learn fast, you know, like. But people that don't understand on a very fast level, it can be pretty difficult for them if they decide to school in Nigeria. But in America, they are really patient with you. Then, like, you could ask the teacher a bunch of questions. The teacher is not going to say no. They are really tolerant. They really care about you. They see you. They see you, even like they won't see, like they just talk to you like their friend. They teach you. Compared to Nigeria, I was even afraid to even go ask my teacher, oh, can you teach me this almost 5 times? I don't, they don't have time for that. So yeah, those are like the main differences I want to talk about. Then next, I'm going to be talking about the positive aspects of Nigerian education. in comparison to the American education. So the first thing is one of the positive aspects about the Nigerian education is that they are less of technology and more of brain and reasoning. So I mentioned earlier that one thing that makes the United States really fast and more advanced in the education system is because they employ so much use of technological devices. They have all of student grades on computer. Those things keep them organized, but there's also a downfall to that. As a result, students have a lot of access to computers. They have access to their phones in class. So that's a major distraction to students compared to Nigeria. In Nigeria, you can't even use your phone in class. I'm not sure. Even when I was in secondary school there, because I didn't go to university in Nigeria, but I know you can't use your phone in class, no computer in class. The only thing you could use in class is textbook and your brain. But in America, yeah, since they allow a lot of technological device, the teachers teach using projectors, all those kind of stuff. Since they allow those kind of stuff, a lot of students can be distracted. Sometimes in the classroom, you could see students on their phone. They are going on social media when the teacher is teaching. Even sometimes, yeah, me too, sometimes I go on my phone like on social media, which is really bad. I don't think if you want to maintain focus in class, that technology needs to be reduced in class. So that's one downfall of the American education system. But since the Nigerian education system employ less use of technology, that's why I believe that most of the students in Nigeria are really smart. Like Nigerians are like really, really smart, because you are taught to use textbook, you are taught to reason by yourself. Like if you even want to use computer, you have to go to cyber cafe and you have to pay a lot of money. For the most part, you have to do your research by yourself. You have to put in that, like, you have to exercise your brain, unlike here where you could just go on computer, or what is this, you find the answer. That's not an efficient way of learning. But Nigeria, since it's more skillful, it requires activation of your brain, all this kind of stuff. So that's like something I see that is really high in Nigeria, and I encourage Nigeria to keep on doing that. But that doesn't mean that they should eliminate technology totally from school, because then how are you gonna maintain privacy of students? I don't know. So the next thing is that in Nigeria education system, they are more stricter and they encourage discipline. Like you have to work hard to actually get good grade, to get an A, unlike the United States. As we all know, Nigerian system is like really strict. Like you can't even cheat on an exam. Like if they even catch you cheating on an exam, they can like expel you or suspend you. That was when I was in secondary school in Nigeria. Like they are really strict. Like if you want to pass an exam in Nigeria, like you have to study. Like if you don't study, there's no way I believe that you will even do well. Unlike in America, since the fact that they're not really strict, yeah, they don't discipline that much like they discipline in Nigeria. Most of the students could even cheat on the exam. They could even use their phone on the exam. Some of the teachers will not even know, just because they are not super strict. In Nigeria, like if they catch you doing this on the exam, you are done, you are over. They will flog you. They could suspend you. So Nigeria is really strict, really disciplined. So I think that's something I really love about Nigeria. And by installing these strict and disciplinary actions in the education system, that's what keeps Nigerian education system going higher and higher. But the downfall to that is that in Nigerian education system, I know that they do flog students, like they physically like flog students, because when I was there, they flogged me before. I don't think that flogging is the right answer to discipline a child or discipline a student. I think punishment is more better than flogging. Punishment such as like sweep your classroom, I think that is more efficient and more better. So Nigeria should stop on like reduce the aspect of flogging and rather go towards punishment that can teach the student a lesson. Another thing I'm going to talk about is like I mentioned, Nigerian education system, they teach student values such as hard work and not being lazy. Like students have to make sure that their classroom is clean. Students are responsible for ensuring that the classroom is organized, their blackboard is clean, their tables and chairs are all clean. Students have to do that by themselves. They have to make sure that they have a clean workspace. Like, no cleaner or any person will come and be helping you to be sweeping your classroom when you're in Nigeria. Students are assigned all these kind of duties that is going to help them develop values such as discipline, organization, and being responsible for their actions. Unlike in the US, since when I've been schooling in America, I've never cleaned a classroom in my life. I think because they switch classes. Like, you might not have English in the same class compared to like in Nigeria, where you have all your whole class in one classroom. Here you can't have one of your entire class in one class. You'll be going to English class, you go to another class, so you don't have an assigned classroom here from what I see. But in, like, if you're in primary school in America, like elementary school, you have an assigned classroom. But for the most part, students don't clean the classroom. They don't clean the classroom, which I think it's kind of weird. Like, countries that do well in their educational system, I noticed that Nigeria, that raise students that help them academically, like Nigeria, Korea, Japan, or Singapore. Those countries with like high that produces like students that like really academically, you know, doing very well. I noticed that most of them, they teach them all this value. They teach them cleaning their classroom. They teach them being responsible. Like, you, the student, you are responsible for the classroom. But in America, I told you, they are more chill. They don't really have all the disciplinary. They give students a lot of freedom, you know. So for that reason, students don't even clean their classroom. Like, they eat, they put it on the floor, they just go with the hope that somebody's going to clean it, a cleaner or somebody's going to clean it, which I think that's something that the American system has to really improve on, because they have to ensure that students are able to take responsibility for their actions, because when they do that, that's going to like instill a lot of values in them that's going to be beneficial to them throughout life. The next thing I want to talk about now is going to be the positive aspects of the American education. Like I mentioned, one, they are more technologically advanced, which make them to be more organized, which ensure that they have privacy of all students, which make them to be more efficient in their learning. They have access to a bunch of textbook online, and which helps students to also save money. In Nigeria, you have to go and literally buy your own textbook, but they have access to all this computer. You could have your textbooks online. All those kind of stuff help them to make education more easier and go more efficient than that in Nigeria. Also, like I mentioned, they are really organized because they are technologically advanced. Like, students have their own login website where they could just go log in and see their grades, how they are doing in each class, assignment they have. They submit their assignment online. Likewise, also they also give parents in America, they give the parents a login, a website where they could go and assess their child's education performance, so they know how their child is doing. If you have PTA, if they're having anything, they send reminders, all this kind of stuff to the student and parent phone. They call the teachers here, they call the parents to remind them that, oh, your child isn't doing well, or your child is doing well, you have this meeting on this date, all this kind of stuff, which makes them, since they are more technologically advanced, that makes education more faster, more efficient to them compared to Nigeria. So teachers are readily available. Like, the teachers are always readily available. They offer your email, they offer emails. Like, if you need help with anything, you could email them, they will reply. Like, in Nigeria, you don't even get your teacher email. Some of them in America, yeah, they even give you their phone numbers to reach them out. But in Nigeria, which teacher? How can you have your teacher phone number? Everything about school is in school. You can't take it outside. Like, so as a result of that, students in Nigeria don't have access to like, when I was in secondary school, they don't have access to their teacher email or this, so they can't really reach the teacher. So for that, that might not really be an efficient way, you know, in the field of academics, because you have to always, in order to ensure that students do well, you have to make sure that the students and teachers are able to connect and you know, connect with each other if the student is having any difficult situation. And another reason is that here in America, they care about mental health a lot. Like in American schools, they have these people who are called professionals, who are called social workers. Like for instance, if they see a child is crying in the classroom, or they see a child is misbehaving, they take that child to the social worker, they evaluate the child, they ask the child, oh, how are you doing? Do you have any problem? Or this. They have all these kind of setup that's like really efficient, that they care, like they pamper you here in the America education system. In Nigeria, who is social worker? They don't really have social worker. They don't have if Nigerian, they don't even talk about mental health. They don't even care if a student is even having trouble at home. The only thing they want is like, just come here, pay school fees, do well and go graduate, right? But here they care about your mental health. They care really about your progress in school. If they find out that you are not doing well, they could call you, call your parents, they could talk to you, they could even come to your house and talk to you and your parents. They really do care about the students in America, which is something I give them. Another thing here in America is like, there is no corruption, like unlike in Nigeria, because I've heard a lot of stories like students have to be in a relationship with the professor or with the teacher in order to get good grade. Here I hardly hear issues like that, like the bribery. There might be some hidden issues. Okay guys, so let's continue. My phone storage was full. So something I was also talking about is the fact that in America they hardly have issue with like bribery and corruption, or students have to be in a relationship with the teacher in order to get good grades, like how they do it in some Nigerian universities. Here I hardly hear issues about that compared to when I'm in Nigeria, because I hear a lot of issues in Nigeria where the teacher want to take, like, misuse a student, or like, you know, just because the student want to get good grade or want to do well in school. And that's really bad. That's so bad that teachers in Nigeria do that. Like, what the hell? Why would you do that? Like, I don't understand. Like, that's so bad. As a teacher, you are meant to, or as a professor, you are meant to ensure that that all students have good access to education. Why would you want to be telling a student, or you want to be abusing them just because they want to get good grade? I don't understand. So compared to in America, it's like there might be little issues there or here, but I hardly hear about it. For the most part, there's a lot of security. If a student encounter any form of like abuse or something like that, they have numbers of people they could reach and report to immediately, and those people they report to will take actions. In Nigeria, there's nobody you even report to. Even the person you even report to might even be related to the professor, and they don't even do nothing about it. And that's really, really bad. Really, really bad. Like, you shouldn't have to involve in any form of corrupt activity with a student in order to ensure that the student graduates first class, or the students have good grades. Like, education should be fair for the betterment of the society, to ensure that we're able to raise citizens who are going to be beneficial to society, you know. So those type of things should be cut away from the Nigerian education system. So is there anything else that I want to talk about again? No. Okay, but let's see. I'm going to talk about ways I think the Nigerian education system can be improved, because I know that the Nigerian education system needs to be improved, especially in public schools and some private schools, you know, overall in just school in general in Nigeria. One way is that I believe that the teachers in Nigerian schools and the leaders in Nigerian school, they should be really passionate. When I mean passionate, they should really have a good intention. They should really be passionate about students having a better education. Like, when the leader in authority, like for instance the principal, when he's really passionate about students having a better education, like he's not gonna engage in any form of activity that's gonna affect the student. It's gonna like do everything possible that students have good education. It's gonna do everything possible for the well-being of the students. Like it's not even gonna have this idea of like money behind. Like its focus will be on the student, not even on himself, like on the student. What's going to be beneficial to the student, not what's going to be beneficial to me. What's going to be beneficial, what will help the student in their education. Like what can the school do that will make the student better citizens in that country. So they should really be passionate about student education in Nigeria. They should know that these students are going to be next leaders. They're going to be people who are going to be applying for jobs. You know, they have to have good intention in ensuring that these students gain the best out of their education, because if like the school plays a major role in who those students become. Because most of those students, they don't even have like parents who keep them in track of what they should be doing. So the school plays a major role in helping those students becoming good people. When the school really teaches those students good values, I believe that those students really cherish it and to help them in their future. Another thing is that they should have responsible leaders. They should have leaders who really care, leaders who are really to serve, the people, leaders who can call the teachers, who can call the student body together and hear from them. A leader who is going to hear the people, who is going to listen to the student body, not just make decisions based on what he thinks, but a leader who like really cares about the people he serves, and instilling good policies that will help in that school or help with the education, with the student education. Another thing is that they should try to include more technology in the school. Like so for instance, okay guys, so like I was saying, I believe that Nigerians should be more technologically advanced so students can have access and learn more about jobs, internship that might be available in Nigeria, so they are not just restricted to only textbook teachers. You know, they could get more broad knowledge, they could have more research, they could even get enlightened on other type of jobs, you know, not just doctor, lawyer, nurse. You know, they could get enlightened of other type of job that they could do. They could even go and make more research. Maybe they want to start a business, they could check online, watch videos. I think that will really help them out a lot, rather than depending solely on textbook and teachers. So when Nigeria incorporates technology, the use of computers in the education system, and allowing students use those technology, I think it will be really beneficial in the schools. So yeah, those are the tips like I think Nigeria could include. I know this video is already long enough because I don't want to make it longer, but yeah, if you guys so people might ask me like, which one do you prefer, Nigerian education and American education? I would say each of them have their pros and their cons. So it's solely, every country has their way or their way of teaching. But if I have to choose, as someone told me, like I have to really pick one, I would lean towards the American education, because I believe in their way of teaching, their way of teaching students how to learn. Although they might be a little bit lenient, not super strict like American education. So I would lean towards the American one. But like I said, Nigerian education has its pros, American education has a con, you know, the negative and the positive. So it does depend on making the best of every situation you are. If you're in schooling in Nigeria, try to make the best, try to come up with the best, try to make the best of that situation. If you're schooling in America, try to make the best of that situation. In all, it all depends on the students, their drive and their passion. So yeah, that's only what I have to say. If you guys have any idea, any suggestion, what do you think? Which one is better, Nigerian or American, blah blah blah, comment down below. Let's talk and all those kind of stuff. I know I talked a lot about the negative aspect of Nigeria education, and that's because I believe Nigeria needs to ace up, need to increase their level of education than the American system. And I really do love Nigeria a lot. I love the way they enact discipline in students. I really love Nigeria a lot, but I just wish that it could put in more effort, because Nigeria needs to have a better economy overall. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really, if you stay tuned to the end, you're the real one. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, make sure you comment down below, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. Comment your video ideas, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. God loves you more, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye.